The year is 1890. French Foreign Legionnaires, some of the toughest soldiers in Europe, are marching through the dense forests of West Africa. They are expecting a fight. They are expecting tribal warriors. But they are not expecting this. Suddenly, a rustle in the tall grass, a volley of rifle fire, and then a charge. Hundreds of soldiers sprint toward the French lines, machetes raised, indifferent to pain, screaming battle cries that freeze the blood. As they get closer, the French soldiers hesitate. These aren't men, they are women, and they are the deadliest force West Africa has ever produced. European travelers called them the Amazons, naming them after the mythical warrior women of ancient Greece. But in their own language, Fon, they were called the Mino, our mothers, or the Agojie. They were the elite fighting force of the kingdom of Dahomey, located in modern-day Benin. Dahomey was not a peaceful trading state. It was a machine built for war historians often call the Sparta of West Africa. Surrounded by enemies and constantly needing captives for the slave trade, Dahomey militarized its entire society, and when they ran out of men, they turned to their women. The origins of the Agojie are humble. In the 17th century, they started as elephant hunters, or Beto. Later, they became palace guard because men were forbidden to sleep within the palace walls after dark. But in the early 1800s, King Gizo changed everything. He liberated Dahomey from control of the Oyo Empire, and to do it, he needed soldiers. He looked at his palace guards and saw potential. He expanded the corps from a few hundred to over 6,000 warriors. These weren't concubines. They were legally married to the king, which meant they were celibate. No children, no families. Their only family was a regiment. Their only husband was a state. How do you turn a villager into a fearless killing machine? You break them, and then rebuild them. The training of the Agojie was brutal. They wrestled on piles of thorns to build pain tolerance. They were sent into the woods with nothing but a machete to survive for days. They were trained to storm fortifications protected by walls of acacia thorns, climbing over them barefoot, ignoring the tearing of their flesh. They were divided into specialized units. The Beto, hunters. The Gulanento, riflewomen. The Nyack Plohento, reapers armed with massive razor-sharp knives. By the mid-19th century, they were the most feared unit in the region. When the Dahomey army marched, the men wore white caps. The women wore white caps with crocodile symbols. And everyone knew, the women were the ones you didn't want to fight. The ultimate test came at the end of the 19th century. The scramble for Africa had begun, and France wanted Dahomey. The First and Second Franco-Dahomean wars were brutal. The French had modern repeating rifles, machine guns, and artillery. The Dahomeans had old muskets and courage. At the Battle of Cotonou and the Battle of Adigan, the Agojie shocked the French commanders. French reports described the women charging directly into bayonet fire. Even when shot, they would crawl forward, trying to fire one last shot or swing their blade. A French Marine later wrote, "Neither the cannons nor the grape shot could stop them. They were incredibly brave." They lost. The technology gap was simply too wide, but they made the French pay for every inch of ground in blood. After France conquered Dahomey in 1894, the Agojie were disbanded. The colonial government banned them, fearing their influence. Many struggled to return to normal life. They had been raised as kings, not wives, but they didn't disappear entirely. The last known survivor of the Agojie was a woman named Nawi .10. She was discovered by historians in a remote village. She died in 1979, living long enough to see her country gain independence from France. Think about that. A woman who fought in the 19th century wars of empires lived to see the modern era. Today, their legacy is everywhere. They inspired the Dora Milaje in Black Panther. They are symbols of female strength. But we must remember them not as movie characters, but as real women who lived, bled, and died for their kingdom. The story of the Agojie is complex. They were heroes who defended their land. They were also enforcers of a brutal monarchy that profited from the slave trade. History is rarely black and white. But one thing is undeniable. In a world that told women they were weak, the Mino proved a warrior spirit has no gender.